welcome back to Westlaw Plays FTB Infinity Expert Mode. We're going to get straight into this. I've got two things I want to get done today, however they are both quite involved and I wouldn't say complicated. Yeah, actually no, they are fairly complicated. Things like, first of all, I want to start Botania. The reason being is there's quite a few items and flowers I want from there to enable me to do the next steps in my plan, and also to help me finish this monstrosity over here. That's right, I've started building an actual house now. I want to move into it fairly soon. If we get time in this episode, I'll also give you a kind of tour of that, but you can just enjoy the horrible view for now with dirt and things, but it's on the way, suffice to say. So, I want to get a blast furnace done, and I want to get Pathania done. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is light my Nether portal. Now, I actually tried a lot of different things and found out what I did wrong. For you watching, all you need to do to get this to work is to place down a source block of lava and then just put two burnable blocks there. It can be oak wood planks, it can be logs, it could be whatever. As long as it's burnable, it will work. Now this could take some time, so we're going to get started with Pathania, which I'll kind of need for the next step. So let's find my Let's Go Botania. There we are. Pathania is really, really awesome. Let's have a look at what we need to get started. Well, the first thing I know we'll need is a petal apothecary. Apothecary? There we go. Apothecary. I can't talk today. So let's just very quickly look at the recipe for this. I'm going to need double compressed cobblestone. Wow, that's expensive. 2 cobblestone slabs, a mystical white petal, and a cauldron. So let's get all that sort of stuff together. What does Botania allow us to do? Well, Botania is all based around flowers, and it's another magical system. I'm not going to say similar to Foundcraft. It's only similar to Foundcraft in the way that it's a magic mod. Let's get these slabs made as well. But the flowers have a lot of different uses. Too many to just very briefly cover. So it'll be a case of you'll know what we're doing by what flowers we're making, sort of thing. So let's grab us a mystical white flower. Now I've already grabbed a load of different colours of flowers because I know I'm going to need them. I might need some more. How we get the petals is we just put it in a crafting grid like that, which gives us 2 mystical white petals. And the last thing we needed is a cauldron. Now where have I put my forge hammer? That's the question. Oh, there we are. A little tip for you guys using NEI, if you can't find something in the inventory, if you double click, you'll notice this turns yellow. Anything you type now will be highlighted. So if I wanted to find snowballs, for instance, there we are, just start SNO in there. Very handy little tip, especially when you're disorganized as I am. Don't worry, by the way, we will be sorting out our storage situation quite shortly. Possibly I'm going to leave it until we move into the new place that I've started building over there. However, I might also do it before then. I've got some really good ideas of what I want to do. Right, so there we are. There's a cauldron. Of course, it doesn't take iron ingots. It takes iron plates like everything else in this mod pack that requires iron. Apart from shears, I found. Shears are unchanged. It's just two iron ingots, which is nice. Okay, there we are. We have our first petal apothecary. Now, what can we do with this? Well, this will allow us to make pretty much almost every flower that we need to make for Botania. I'm just going to throw it down there because it's next to an infinite water source. What's the first flower that we need to make? Well, one of the two big resources for Botania is living stone and living wood. So how do we make those? Well, we need a pure daisy. And we surround that either with stone, has to be smooth stone rather than cobblestone, or logs. It has to be logs rather than planks. So how do we go about making our pure daisy? We need 4 mystical white petals, and then we're going to need to throw a seed of some kind in there as well. That's actually explained to you in the basics. I'm not going to go for the very... Oh, there we go. That was quick. Our Nether portal is up already. I told you it works, and there is the proof. I feel vindicated. I'm not going to go through the very basics of Botania, basically because you've got a book that will do that for you. I think let's make 2 actually. That would be very good. So I'm going to need 4 of these. We need 8 petals in total. So the pure daisy will allow us to get our hands on some of the basic materials, which would be living wood and living stone. There we go. So I've now thrown my 4 petals in there that are swishing around quite nicely. Next thing I need to do is, there we are, throw in a seed, and it'll put it straight into our inventory. Pure daisy. What colour do you want to be? I don't know. I prefer green, to be honest. Let's throw in 4 more. 2, 3, 4, and a seed, and huzzah! There we go. We have 2 pure daisy. Now, it wasn't that easy and simple. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, because I like complex and involved things, that's as easy and as simple as that gets. So what I'm going to do is very quickly throw these down. Let's put it here and here. That should be spaced up enough. I might need to sleep through the night very quickly. Don't sleep at night. While I'm just waiting for it to become fully night, let's grab 8 of you. And I'm sure I cooked up some stone. There we go. Cooked up this beforehand because I knew I was going to need it. 8 smooth stone. Now this actually takes a little while to get going, for us to get our living wood and our living stone. This is one of the reasons why I've made more than one pure daisy. So I would advise doing the same thing as well. There is ways to automate this. It's quite difficult, as you can imagine, but it does work. And you can see these particle effects flying off the blocks at the moment. That means you've done it right. Okay, so we've got a way of getting living wood and living stone. What else do we need to get started? Well, the whole of Pathania is basically based around something called mana. So we need something called a generating flora, or flora that will give us mana. Now the basic one you pretty much got to start off with, because the rest of them are inaccessible unless you've got some kind of mana, is the day bloom. So we're making a few of these. They're quite easy to make. However, we don't want to make too many because we're not going to be staying with them for too long. And also, let's see, 2 yellow, blue and orange. Also, passive flowers is the call. So day blooms are a passive flower because they will generate mana all by themselves. I'm going to need some more yellow ones, aren't I? What else was required? Was it blue? So light blue, orange and yellow. Do I have light blue? Just got blue, cyan. Oh, good. Right, I'm going to have to do some flower hunting. So I'm going to pause this while I go and grab some. Well, I'm going to keep explaining a little bit. Oh, there we go. That was much quicker than I expected. And it turns automatically into living wood. And then, there we go. Living stone as well. Yeah, so as I was saying, passive flowers, as they're called, will degrade over time. Meaning that they only have so much uses before they just stop working. They turn to sticks, I believe. I'll grab these while we're here because I'm sure I'll need them. So here's the yellow ones that I wanted. I also need light blue as well. So you're very quickly going to have to come up with some better ways of generating mana, which we're actually going to do fairly sharpish. We're only going to use this very briefly while we need to. I believe this is cyan, isn't it? Yeah, cyan. I want light blue. Can't for the life of me remember what those bad boys look at. Right, so I'm going to go find those flowers, and I'll be right back once we're ready to go. Welcome back, guys. I'm just about to craft the last of my day blooms. So 2 yellow, blue, 1 orange, a seed. There we are, and we have ourselves 5 day blooms. A sting of light, apparently. You may notice as well I've grabbed a bit more living stone while we're here, which is very important. We're going to need this for this next step. So your generating flowers will generate mana, but we also need somewhere where we can store it. So let's bring up the Lexica Botania again. Basics and mechanics. Let's actually... Mana manipulation, there we are. Mana pool. The mana pool is, simply put, a storage of mana. Good, so it's a bit like a battery from your technology mod or cell from thermal expansion or something like that. So very simply, 5 living rock. Well, I think we can just about manage that. Now, the reason I haven't put down the day blooms yet, in case you're wondering, is because they will start to decay as soon as you put them down. So we only want to be putting them down when we're actually going to be using them. So we have a diluted mana pool. I'll explain very quickly how to get an undiluted one quickly. And we also need a Manor Spreader. This is the block that allows mana to travel from point A to point B. Okay, so very, very simple. You can read all this for yourselves. It's really quite detailed and very helpful. So although you can probably access most of these recipes through NEI, I really do recommend making yourself a Lexica Botania. So I need 6 living wood, 1 gold ingot, and 1 mystical petal. I can do that, I think. And I think I've got a spare petal as well. Yeah, there we are. 1 gold ingot, and there we are. There's our Manor Spreader. And there is one more ingredient, one more thing we need to make. And actually, to do this, we're probably going to need a bit more. In fact, I know we're going to need a bit more living wood. So we'll place this down, and while we're waiting for this to cook up, if you like, we will start setting up a nice little area for our Botania. This will only be temporary. I will move this. I probably should have picked up a lot more living wood. Oak planks, sorry. So we'll just put it here for now. Okay, we'll just put it here. It's a nice enough place for it. Now, if we have a look very quickly in our Lexica Botania at the generating flora, day bloom, gives you some very important information. Do not place these in a block. Do not place these next to each other. You need to spread these out. There needs to be kind of like either a diagonal space or a block space between these, or they interfere apparently. So they'll be reducing the amount of mana they will produce. Okay, there we are. That's those placed. A less space here to put the Manor Spreader as well. Come on, you didn't take this long last time. You may notice as well that I've made ruby tools now, just because I've got lots of ruby from mining, and I was getting fed up of replacing all of my tools. Okay, we'll be right back when this converts through. Here we are. It's started to convert now, so I'm going to harvest this. You harvest it just as you would normal wood, by the way. I do realise I neglected to say that. There we are. We have our living wood. So what we're going to need to make now is a wand, a living wand, I believe it's called. There we go. We're going to need 2 of those. 2 petals, sorry, I should say. We're going to need 3 living wood twigs. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 and 1. Now you can actually use any petals that you like, and the petals you do choose to use will change what your wand of the forest looks like. I'm just going to stick with this because it's quick and I don't really mind that much, and I'm going to sleep through the night because I do not want to be molested by creepers as I set up Botania. That would be suboptimal. Okay, let's run over here and we'll place this down very quick. Okay, and you'll notice that we've got a face here. This is the mana spreading face, if you like. And this is facing upwards, which again is suboptimal. We don't want to be doing that. Our wand has 2 modes. It's currently in function mode. If you shift right click, you'll switch which mode it's in. You notice that the icon actually changes as well on it. So we've got function mode and we have bind mode, which is the one we want. Sorry. So if we shift right click, you'll notice that's become highlighted now. And you shift right click where you want it to go. You have these nice particle effects. Now they only actually appear if you're holding the wand, which is quite nice actually, because then your view isn't obscured by a ton of different mana flying everywhere. The wand has a lot of uses. For instance, if we right click here, it will tell us how much mana is in things. Now for some reason I'm going to have to bind these. Usually don't have to do that, but there we go. Let's bind these to the Manor Spreader so that they are actually going to be providing mana to it. And if we right click here, we can see very slowly, and this is very slowly, it's been updated and showing us mana that's been spread. Now you'll only spread mana when it gets to a certain amount, so we're not going to sit around and wait for that to happen. We're going to jump into the Nether. Okay, now there's a very specific reason that I want to go into the Nether, and I mentioned this in the previous episode. We want to get our hands on sulfur so we can make a whole ton of TNT, so we can make our blast furnace and finally get ourselves some steel. Now I'm kind of hoping that this won't be all that dangerous. As long as we stay out of the way of any ghasts, we should generally be okay. Although I know in this mod pack there are some rather nasty mobs around, and of course there are heat scar spiders, which are just generally terrible, terrible things. But we will do our best to stay out of trouble. Okay. There might be a little bit of lag while this is loading in, and what? Look at this, cobalt ore right off the bat. Cobalt ore is one of the ores that you find in there. Oh, 2 of them! Oh, I am a lucky boy. One of the ores that you'll find exclusively in the Nether. They are very, very, very useful and very, very worth collecting. They make some of the best alloys in the game, if not the best alloys in the game, especially when you combine cobalt with ardite. You get Manor Spreader. No one knows how to say it, so I'm just going to say it like that. So you'll notice what we've got up here are sulfur clouds, and this is what we want to be harvesting. Now I've just noticed here we have some Nether coal ore. This will actually give you, when you smelt it, 2 normal blocks of ore, which is really, really cool. It's almost like having silk touch. One thing to notice, if you mine any block of Nether ore, any block of Nether ore at all, then you actually will aggravate all of the pigmen surrounding. They will attack you even if you haven't already attacked those. So beware, if you're mining Nether ores, be ready to defend yourself. And that can actually be really, really tempting, especially when you find things like Nether diamond ore. And there's some ardite. I'm incredibly lucky today, which is just not like me. Also, just appreciate how fast this thing mines bloody netherrack. It's ridiculous. The reason I'm grabbing all this netherrack, there's a few things I want to make from it when I get back from the nether. But also, I need to be able to nerd pole my way up to get to this sulfur. So I'm going to spend some time in the nether now, just mining sulfur. This is not going to be terribly exciting, so I'm not going to record it. I will come back when I've got a significant amount of sulfur, enough to make the blast furnace. So I'll see you guys very, very shortly. If this fire bat doesn't kill me. Oh god. Oh no, I got it. Sweet. Right, so I will be right back, and I'll see you then. Welcome back, guys. I've not long got back from the nether. I'm just going to grab these bricks, and I'm going to need them. Right, after much sulfur cloud mining, we have enough gunpowder. I picked up a few from home as well. We've now got a total of 46, so we should now be able to craft our blast furnace, which is fantastic. This has been a long way off and a long way coming, so I'm going to need 9 TNT. You'll notice also I've dug out a load of sand and a load of clay to make these bricks as well. So that is already pre-done. Shift click that. Fantastic. It's going to make me 9 of each, which is exactly how many I need. Well, I think it's 2 over. Good. We've got all our bricks. This is a momentous occasion. I feel like I have really, really worked hard towards this goal, and I'm really, really happy to have got here. So we're just going to kind of clean an area out here to put this in for now. And this is all temporary. All these kind of buildings and how I'm putting them at the moment is all temporary. It's all going to change right then. So according to NEI, we need a 3x4x3 hollow structure. Okay, well, 1 blast furnace then coming up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, when it says hollow, the top and bottom blocks do have to be filled in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 4? Or is that 1, 2, 3? Yeah, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that block in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Here. Here we go. You probably can't hear it in my voice, but I am really quite excited at the moment. I don't think I've ever got so excited about building a blast furnace. There's the last block, and there we go. The multi-block has formed. We have ourselves a blast furnace. Fantastic! I'm actually ecstatic. I'm not going to lie. Also, I'm very, very paranoid that I've put all this effort in to get myself a blast furnace, and it's going to get blown up by a creeper, which I can actually see on the map, which is worrying. So I'm going to sleep through the night. Now, this is the reason why I have been making so much charcoal, because this blast furnace is going to absolutely chew through charcoal, absolutely chew through it. I think it's either 4 or 8 charcoal per each ingot of steel. So this is going to be quite expensive in terms of charcoal. So all we do is throw that down there, and you can probably tell it's going to take a little while. Okay, so we're going to leave that cooking up. I'm certainly going to cook up a lot more between episodes. But let's take a quick look over our Botania stuff and see how we've been getting on while we're in the Nether. Now, I'm quite used to playing on servers, so this would usually be chunk loaded. although we've got a fair amount of mana, there should be enough now, hopefully, to make our actual mana pool rather than a diluted one. The main difference is your normal diluted mana pool will hold very, very little mana, whereas a mana pool will hold mana, and you can add things like alchemy catalysts as well to a proper mana pool, which will become apparent later. The nice thing is here, you can see you've got enough mana, because there's a little tick on the arrow. There we are, and I've got Vivid Wave as an achievement. Let's pick this up, place this down. There we go. Happy days. We've now got ourselves a proper mana pool, and this is still collecting mana. Fantastic. Something I forgot to mention about the day blooms is they will actually only generate mana during the day, which can be a problem. Obviously, only half the time they'll be generating mana. There are nightshades as well, which do the same job, but at night. But I've never really found a need for them. I tend to sleep through the night anyway, so I've not really had a need for them at all. Okay, now this is a very, very slow form of mana generation. As you've probably noticed, this hasn't even received any mana yet whatsoever. Because as I said, the Manor Spreader will build up a certain amount of mana before it sends a burst over. Which it should be doing fairly soon. I don't believe it. There you go, there's one there. I don't believe it waits for those notches along the progress bar there, but it does have to have a fairly significant amount in there. So what options have we got in terms of further generating flora? Well, let's take a quick look. Okay, taking a quick look there off camera, just at the sort of things I'm going to need to be creating. Endoflame is probably the one we're going to go with. So while the day bloom is all well and good, a botanist requires more effective means of generating mana, you don't say. The Endoflame does just that. It will absorb any combustible items or blocks dropped on the nearby vicinity. Brilliant. Okay. How do we make it? We need a red mana petal, a mystical red petal, brown petal, brown mana petal, and mystical light grey petal. So if I get 2 red, 2 brown, and 1 light grey. Now, just for your information, how do you get the mana petals? Well, you just throw them in some mana in the mana pool there. So I'm going to need 2 of those, 2 of those, and 1 light grey. Okay, go to those, 2 of those. I think carrot seeds count as seeds for this. We'll find out, I suppose. Let's move you up there. Grab the bucket for some water. There we are. Hopefully we've got enough mana at least just to make 1 mana petal of each, because then we can really, really speed up our mana generation. So, no, it appears. Let's just have a quick look there. Oh, there's one. Oh, we're going to have to wait for another mana burst for it to make another. That's quite disappointing. Well, while we wait then, I'm going to very quickly show you around what I've made so far of this house. So the first thing you'll probably notice is it is flipping humongous. I don't do things small when it comes to building. It's something I've always really, really enjoyed with Minecraft, is building, and ever more so because of the inclusion of the chisel mod. Now I believe I've got my chisel here somewhere. Where's my bag? There it is. If you've not seen chisel and you're into building, you're going to be incredibly jealous of anyone who plays modded Minecraft if you don't. What we can do here is right click our chisel, which brings up a really nice looking interface. We've got some dirt here. Let's shift click it in, and all of a sudden I have all of these options here. All I have to do is click one that I like the look of. Which one do I really like? These ones. Wonderful. And just like that, hey presto, I get myself some really nice looking dirt blocks. So almost all the blocks you see here, all these cobblestone blocks and all that sort of stuff, this is all cobblestone, by the way. I have been chiseled. So the plan for this building, while we just wait for that mana to come along, is to have multiple levels. So you've obviously got the ground floor down here, a huge ground floor area there. We're going to have kind of a mezzanine floor here, which is accessed by steps. It comes all the way around here in an L shape, and just hop over here. That was very close. Then we're also going to have a second mezzanine floor, which comes up here. I bet there's been a creeper or something. Oh, by the way, if you want to get it back very quickly, just put it back in your chisel again. which I need to do now. There's been like a Enderman or something here stealing my dirt. Yep, so we come back up to here, and we have a second mezzanine level which will overlook everything else. I've got some pretty cool ideas about travelling between the different levels as well. As you can see, I've already kind of mapped out where I want my roofs to be and the arch for the roofs and things like that. Safe to say this is going to be a fairly big build. It's one of the reasons why I've started it off camera, because it's going to be huge. I could easily make a few videos at least just building this. And in fact, you know, if you guys really like this building thing, I could put together, I wouldn't really call it a tutorial because I don't consider myself to be a master builder or anything like that, but I certainly could put a video together explaining how I made all this, and you can screw off before you trample all of my crops. And you, go on, off with you. Hopefully, I've now got enough mana. I just need a brown mana petal, happy days, there we are. I should now have everything that I need to make my first ender flame. One red mana panel, one brown. There, and then lastly one light grey, and yes! Wonderful! Here we have an ender flame. We'll do that, let's grab something combustible. I don't want to use charcoal. Speaking of charcoal, how's my blast furnace? Wonderful, starting to get some steel. Fantastic. Let's come right over here very quickly. I want to get this in use as soon as humanly possible. I'm just going to put it here because it's easier, it's in line of sight. I don't believe it needs to be. As you can probably see, some of these are blocking each other from the Manor Spreader, but better safe than sorry. All you need to do is throw down your combustible block. You hear a sound effect and get some particle effects, and that means it's working. Let's see. Is this connected? I think we can tell even from this now the speed that we're getting that mana coming across. Fantastic. So I'm probably going to craft myself a couple of these actually, to be honest. And I'm probably going to automate them as well. I've got a really cool idea for how I'm going to automate these ender flames. It's really simple. It just requires a bit of redstone, a bit of Project Red as a mod, and then it will be fairly automated, which is how I like things to be. It's something that I've certainly been missing as much as I've enjoyed playing this pack so far. Automation has kind of been out of my grasp for quite a while. So thanks guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. We've achieved a lot, it might not seem like it, but we've made a massive stride. We've got our first blast furnace, which means we have steel, which means we can start building machines, lasers, all that sort of stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. We've started Botania, we've got some basic mana generation up, and I've given you a quick tour of what will soon be my house. And I hope you agree it's going to look suitably epic when it is finished. So thank you guys, I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. This is Westlaw signing off. Hi guys, thanks again for watching. I'd just like to take some time to invite you to like and subscribe if you liked what you saw, and also check out some of my other videos. So on the screen here you'll probably see the first impressions of Don't Starve, so if you're ever wondering whether to buy that DLC or not, that's the video you want to watch. Otherwise, thanks again, this is Westlaw signing off again.